Hello friends, welcome back to this video on analog communication. In this video, I am going to talk about a new type of amplitude modulation scheme, which is single sideband suppressed carrier type of amplitude modulation, which is also called SSBSC type of amplitude modulation. In this video, we are going to discuss what is SSBSC, then we will see why at all it is required. We have already seen double sideband full carrier and double sideband suppressed carrier. So double sideband suppressed carrier was having the power efficiency of 100%. Then why single sideband suppressed carrier is required? We'll see in this video. After that, we'll see application of single sideband suppressed carrier. We'll see the waveforms to generate the single sideband suppressed carrier and one of the technique to generate it, which is frequency discrimination method. So now we'll introduce what is single sideband suppressed carrier. As the name suggests, here only one sideband is required to transmit the information from the transmitter to the receiver. In double sideband suppressed carrier, I showed you how the two sidebands were sending the same message. Here I am sending either the upper sideband or the lower sideband to send my message signal. So single sideband suppressed carrier is a type of amplitude modulation scheme where only one sideband is sent from the transmitter to the receiver. So in DSP-SC, I told you that the bandwidth usage was twice of the bandwidth of the message signal. So now in single sideband suppressed carrier, the bandwidth usage has become half. So it is equal to the bandwidth used by the baseband message signal. So this is the beauty of the single sideband suppressed carrier, although the power efficiency is also 100% here, which was 100% in DSP-SC as well. But the bandwidth is saved. Bandwidth has become half, and the telecommunication industries spend a lot of money in purchasing of the bandwidth spectrum. So the cost of this type of communication will become very less, or it will become half as compared to double sideband suppressed carrier. So this is the importance of single sideband suppressed carrier. So the bandwidth of single sideband suppressed carrier is equal to half of the bandwidth of double sideband suppressed carrier, or I can say bandwidth of single sideband suppressed carrier is equal to the bandwidth of baseband signal. So the bandwidth of xt, baseband signal is represented by xt, so the bandwidth of xt is equal to bandwidth of single sideband suppressed carrier. So now I can have more number of channels in the given frequency spectrum. So more number of people can connect to other people when they are using single sideband suppressed carrier type of amplitude modulation. So now talking about the application, it is used in the point-to-point communication. I hope you remember when I was talking about double sideband full carrier, I said it was used in the broadcasting of the signal. So when I have more number of receivers and one transmitter, then double sideband full carrier was used. Here it is used in point-to-point communication because the bandwidth is efficient and I can have a lot of number of users which can talk simultaneously or which can use the bandwidth simultaneously. So now talking about the generation method, I have two types of generation method, which is frequency discrimination method and the second method is phase discrimination method. I hope you remember how I generated the double sideband suppressed carrier. So now if I talk about the double sideband suppressed carrier, so the modulated signal was given by xt into ct, or I can write it as xt into AC cos omega ct. So this is my modulated signal in the case of double sideband suppressed carrier. So now from the double sideband suppressed carrier itself, I'll generate the single sideband suppressed carrier. So if I denote xt, so let's suppose this is my xt, here this is my time axis and this is my amplitude. So this diagram represents my xt information signal or message signal. So now what happens when the message signal is superimposed on the carrier? So it was at the zero frequency. So if I draw the empty, I hope you remember how I drew this. So at a high frequency fc and minus fc, so this is minus fc and this is fc, I have the same signal. So the same signal is superimposed at fc and minus fc. So this is fc, this is minus fc. Now I have upper sideband. So this red portion represents my upper sideband. Here this red portion represents my upper sideband. Now when I talk about the message signal, here this signal, this portion represents my upper sideband. Now talking about the lower sideband, so here this is lower sideband, this is LSB, in this would be lower sideband, and in my message signal this is my lower sideband. So now how I can generate the single sideband suppressed carrier using this double sideband suppressed carrier modulated signal. So now after the modulation, I can use a band pass filter to transmit either the upper sideband or the lower sideband. So let's suppose I am using a band pass filter like this. So this is my time axis. So if this is my band pass filter and it is passing all the frequency components in this band, which is represented by minus fc to fc. So from minus fc to fc it is passing all the frequency components, and when the band pass filter is connected to this double sideband suppressed carrier modulation type of signal. So after this, if I connect the band pass filter, what I'll get? So from here I'll get the blue portion which represents the lower sideband, and from here also I'll get the blue portion which represents the lower sideband. So I transmitted only the lower sideband which contains the full information. So now so if the band pass filter has the cutoff frequency fc and minus fc, and it passes all the frequency components greater than fc, and here also passes all the frequency components lesser than minus fc. So now which components would be passed? Here the red component and here the red component. So now with the help of this kind of band pass filter, I'll transmit only red components. These are frequency axes. So now you can see from here at FC and minus FC, if I have cutoff voltage for my band pass filter, then I'll transmit the upper side band. So here I transmitted only the lower side band and here I transmitted only the upper side band. So this is called the frequency discrimination method, where I used the band pass filter with a sharp cutoff frequency. So here also and here also, both of the cases I have sharp cutoff frequency, and I am discriminating some frequencies and I am allowing some frequencies. So here I am discriminating the lower side band and here I am allowing the lower side band only. I am discriminating the upper side band here. So now if I talk about the block diagram for the generation. So here I have a modulator, product modulator, from where my message signal xt is multiplied by carrier signal ct, and I'll get the double sideband suppressed carrier. So this was the modulation of double sideband suppressed carrier. Now I'll pass a band pass filter and the output would be single sideband suppressed carrier signal. So this is how I can get the single sideband suppressed carrier type of amplitude modulation. So now I discuss the frequency discrimination method. So now I'll be discussing about the limitations of this method, because I use the band pass filter with sharp cutoff frequency, which are not possible to generate practically, and we never have this sharp kind of cutoff frequency practically. So this is a very ideal kind of filter which is not available practically. So the first limitation is sharp cutoff frequency band pass filter can't be designed practically. This is an ideal filter. Now let's take the case when the filter is not ideal. So if I suppose this filter was like this, and here also the cutoff frequency was changing like this, so it is a practical kind of filter. So now here some portion of upper sideband and here also some portion of upper sideband would be transmitted, so which causes the error in the signal. So here the distortions would be generated due to the non-ideal nature of my band pass signal, so which is like very disturbing when you use it to transmit music or video. It can be used to transmit audio, because in audio some kind of distortions are allowed, but when you transmit music and videos, that time the sharp cut off frequency band pass filter is required, which cannot be designed practically. So now the second limitation is the band pass filter designing would become critical, because the carrier signal is having very high frequency and the message signal is having very low frequency when compared to the carrier signal. So now here I have to design the band pass filter such that it is superimposed on a high frequency carrier and it is rejecting some small frequency changes from the message signal. So this carrier frequency is very high. In comparison to that, the message signal bandwidth is very low. So designing a filter which is operating at such a high frequency and accepting or rejecting at the drastic intervals is very difficult. So this kind of limitations arise in the frequency discrimination method, because of which the generation of single sideband suppressed carrier through frequency discrimination method is avoided. So now how it can be generated? We have phase discrimination method as well. As I told you, I have another method which is phase discrimination method. Now in my next video, I'll be talking about the mathematical parameters related to the single sideband suppressed carrier. Now I hope you understood what is exactly single sideband suppressed carrier and how we can generate it by frequency discrimination method. I hope you like this video. If you like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel and push the like button. Thank you.